What up, YouTube? Going over the Square Enix stream slides and going over my brief poll plans, letting y'all know what's good. I don't think I did this last month because I don't know. I think it was because New Year's, and then I didn't do the month before. I think I got lazy, but I am doing it again. I have a little bit more structure, and by a little bit more structure this time, I mean like I have 4 bullet points of what to talk about per slide. So I'm gonna keep the rambling to a minute. I'm just gonna give you all my brief overview of what's coming this month. I don't know why they put Locke and Edgar on the slide when they already came, but I don't know, whatever. I guess they try and hide the suspense. Regardless, do the usual: like, subscribe, check out weekly stream Ranting Hour, all my other good content. Let's keep it moving. Buff quality of life, finally. That's all I can really say there. Finally. This chapter, I haven't read the story in so long. Maybe I should start reading the story again. It's like literally been a year. I think I stopped reading the story around the end of Act 2, maybe. Yeah, I should try and do that some more. Let's instead of rushing to the end of fights. But Gilgamesh, new character. I already released my before you poll on this video, by the way. But Gilgamesh getting LD and BT. The big thing is his BT gives 30% HP cap up along with some giant brain damage ups. I don't think Gilgamesh is that great. Kefka is also getting a BT plus, and his rework ups his damage a little bit. I don't think he's that great either. I think that this whole banner, both these banners are not great. Rosa, she has better buffs. She's finally not a meme with the 50% HP damage up. She has 30% HP damage up, but HP damage up, diminishing returns, refund afterwards. It's just, I don't know, garbage time, bruh. Kind of Garnet dumpster like everybody, and nobody here is exempt from that. So the fight's super easy. Again, it's barely lethal. If you turn hog, they blow you up, but you just need to do a special HP attack and the orb goes up. So I'm not doing anything on, well, actually, I might throw tickets at Gilgamesh and Rosa. For Rosa, solely because I'm ticket capped, and I'm gonna try and hold out on that. But I already have Kefka and Gas. That banner's not getting touched, so I'm trying to hold out. See if I have any expiring tickets, but if I get them early, then that'd be annoying. Let's keep moving. Oh, right. I forgot this was happening. Huh. Oh my. I don't, all these characters suck for farming. There's not a good option, is there? Jesus. I don't know. Yikes. Maybe, whew. I don't know who I recommend to refarm that, honestly. Yeah, sorry. I don't have a good take there. But Yuri's LD board rework. No, not an LD board, just an LD rework. Quistis is getting LD too. Quistis' skills do more damage, but since there's been power creep since her last update, her damage honestly still kind of ass. But her skill 2 is more likely to cap now, and her EX is a real button that delays. She gets the party HP damage up now, so it's nice to round her out like that. Yuri, he's weird. He gets a damage increase because, well, skills do more damage, blah blah blah, but he gets a trap debuff, right? And you want to build this. The debuff stacks go up every time Yuri lands an attack, and this applies AoE too. So if he does his AoE skill, it'll apply the debuff to all targets. And then his Brave Plus transforms if the debuff's active, right? And if you press it, a trap, because it's dispelling the debuff, and a trap attack goes off. So you really want to build up Yuri's stacks and then let a nuke go off. Unfortunately, the nuke from the debuffs isn't that big. You can let it go off naturally if it's a trap, by the way, but that's weird. It's just 3 split HP attacks on a free turn and high turn rate. They fixed this in JP by making it an instant turn, and the one you get rewarded for building up all the stacks is 7 HP attacks. Makes way more sense. I don't know why they didn't juice him a bit here, so I think he's honestly kind of mid. However, I'm going for him to spice things up. I like the game, and every time Yuri's got an update, I said I wanted to use him, and then I didn't do it. But I've been building my Ultima sword just for him. So yeah, that'll be fun. The fight, you need to do holy damage, 200k. And if you bring, it's non-lethal. The fight before this is lethal, by the way, but yeah, non-lethal orb, and there's summon ads at thresholds, and you got to kill the ads before you can damage the main boss. But this fight's gonna get Machina garneted, maybe with like a Nash call or something. So yeah, not a hard fight by any means. You can't get blown up by it. The orb going off does instant break you, and there's like a freeze effect. I don't know, just bring holy damage. I mean, Ico eats her. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, I'm bluing Yuri, giving him the ultimate weapon. Have some fun. And then we got the Hell Emperor chapter. I don't know why they didn't give him like this skin. It's just the boss. Leila, baddie, top 5 characters in the game design wise and broken wise. This character is a mistake, probably one of the biggest meta pulls for a long while. Actually, that's not true because second rounds are next month. But she breaks the game. She's got crazy HP damage mitigation. She has a taunt aura, so you don't even need even if they're debuff immune, the enemies will be naturally attracted to her, like I am. Yikes. Oh, but every time she dodges an attack, she does a counter warp, and she drags everyone's turn forward. This can mess up EX charges, but she drags the whole team forward, and they all get free turns. So this is pretty ridiculous game. So if things are missing her, then if the whole party gets free turns, something hits her, you get like crazy HP damage mitigation in the first place. She's got 30% blind debuff too. So like, this character was one of the biggest mistakes. She will make content so much easier than it needs to be. Definitely a broken character that I recommend everyone pick up unless you're like insane and currently really bored of the game. Then she might make the game even more boring. That's the experience I had in JP, because I pulled her once and I'm like, wow, this is so broken. I'm not interacting with fights at all, even though the fights were interacting with me in the first place, and now I'm even more bored. So I never used her again. She's really awesome, but she's really overpowered up until like Shinryu, and then she can still trivialize. And you don't even need high investment on her, by the way. You could just be like base armor, no ultimate weapon, and she'll still be providing that utility to the party. So this is like a super cheap, easy mode character. Sid Rain's level of a mistake, for real. What am I doing though? By the way, I think Bosch is going to be on this banner. I think he'd fit in with the campaigns stuff, so we'll see there. But I'm skipping her just because I would never use her. But she's definitely super broken mode. But don't feel bad if you're going to skip her, because I honestly kept forgetting she was in my roster. I never felt the need to use her, so some things to think about. Let's keep moving. Oh, I'm doing good today. Only 7 minutes in so far? Yes. All right, Ceodore. Ooh, Seo mid. Seo snore. I don't think they did justice for him. They upped his personal damage. EX does better. Boring stuff. And his BT effect, well, his LD board got reworked to give the entire party HP damage up for a total of 30, and his conditionals got lowered on his EX and his LD buffs, so where the party needs to be above 50% collectively. Something like that, in order to get the full effect of the buff. So you're going to be using his nuke HP more often. I mean, his nuke EX more often. And then his BT effect gives even more HP damage up. And he becomes a holy enchanter with his LD boards too. So he's giving a ton of Braven HP damage up, but no HP cap. And you know what I say, HP cap is the ultimate limiter in the game. And all that HP damage doesn't matter, because at a certain point, you can overcap on HP damage up, and it doesn't matter. You got to raise the caps. And Ceodore isn't bringing any of that. I don't think his damage is particularly great. I think his kit is confused still. I think he's a mess. And I think he's the worst unit on his BT cycle. Oh, buddy. Then we have Cyan, who is famous for his nuke LD calls. His LD charges over time, depending on his skills, and this counts on his concentrate skills too. He ignores he already ignores defense on his skills, and now with his LD buff overhead, whatever, he ignores brave damage reduction, provided enemy has no buffs. So ultimately, Cyan's LD call gets hyped for being a co-op quality of life, but I still wouldn't recommend anyone pull it. Just because really, like, you're saving a couple seconds and it feels better, but it probably isn't worth like actual resources, to be honest. But you can throw in the party. I don't think Cyan's the greatest. He still has the dispel niche, kind of. He's all over the place. I don't think he's that great in party, but and obviously he's gonna need full investment to really. And are any of y'all blowing Cyan except Necklord? I hate Necklord. I don't think so. So Tidus, on the other hand, I think Tidus is probably the best. The best BT this month. He's a returner. Tidus is already broken. The big thing Tidus got is that he can now use his BT finisher alone. So he can BT finisher in the BT phase. Everything else alongside that is auxiliary. That's really what makes Tidus ridiculous. And he gets an LD board rework so that his Jack shot follow up at 3 stacks. It's now 3 HP attacks instead of 1. So Tidus got a substantial damage increase, and he can equip an ultimate weapon. So yeah, he's ridiculous. There's a discussion to be had about the value of getting Tidus's BT now, and then gunning for his FR on a can't, because the way his FR banner is structured is that it's Barret LD, Queen LD, and Tidus LD, right? And Tidus FR. That's between both banners. But one banner has Cam's BT on it because it's Cam's BT cycle, and one banner has Tidus's BT on it. So if you get Tidus's BT now, then you could go for Cam's BT while you go for Tidus's FR down the line, potentially. Things to think about. Also, Ignis is on the banner, and he didn't get a rework, but he got a really loaded C90. to the point where his special Brave and HP attacks got buffed like crazy. They're all free turns. His defense stance, I don't know what the hell they're called. The stance that gives debuff evasion, it batteries everybody, including Ignis. So before it would just give 50% battery to the party, but now it refunds Ignis as well, so it's a safe move. Both of his Brave and HP attacks and both stances are free. And the offensive one, is it Papa Bird? I don't know anymore. Why do I keep guessing? It's 3 HP attacks with 50% splash at the end for free on Ignis. So, and then all these Brave and HP attacks charges EX as well. So the EX is charging a lot faster, using that a lot more. And he doesn't lose any Brave after using EX either. So Ignis got a lot of really good upgrades, and Ignis also has a lot of value in early Force or Shinryu because dead skills charge the gauge. Skills that don't do damage charge the gauge. So Ignis has a bunch of those skills on his special Brave and HP as they transform, his skill 1 and skill 2. So what I do, if you check out my early Shinryu videos, is I'd get Ignis in, fully force warded, spam those skills, charge up the gauge, and then one shot with Tidus. So there's a lot of, I think this Ignis Tidus banner is actually fairly valuable early on. If you don't have his BT, I would consider maybe I don't. It's hard. It's such a nuanced position, and I haven't worked out my logic enough, and I don't think I really can get a concrete answer. But it's something to think about because Ignis will also return on the Braska banner, and that banner is kind of dog shit. Jekt is middle of the road, unfortunately, with his 90. He's not anything special. And then Braska's mid FR, and even worse if he doesn't have FR. So really, at the very least, maybe get Ignis here now, and then try and get Tidus' LD here, maybe, or his BT, and then you can go for Cam in the line. But I'm rambling at this point. Ceodore sucks. Cyan's kind of mid in the party. Ignis is good, especially debuff evasion. Ignis works on a budget or low investment as well. Tidus, you gotta go all the way. But in JP, I actually didn't green Tidus until he got his FR. So, oh yeah, the fight. This is the fight that we got with Lena when she got her LD, and it's got less HP than it did then, but it's a holy orb. It's still non-lethal. It's still got the debuff you buff themselves at threshold shenanigans. It's just you can imperil them now because it is a holy orb. It is non-lethal, but you don't want the orb going off because it can mess you up. Aiko hard carries this fight, but even if you don't have her, holy enchant, some sort of mitigation, have a way to dispel, and you're good. We have power creep to punch through this. Let's keep it moving. Ram. I think Ram is. I think Leila is the biggest broken character this month, at least LD only. Tidus is the winner BT plus wise, but Rem I think is second place after Leila LD wise, because Rem gets a follow up after she does anything. This includes additional ability and her turn swap, so she doesn't need to attack to trigger her follow up. So that kills her. Gets rid of her non-damage problem. Turn swap gets reworked so that it charges whoever she swaps to's EX, so it's not messing in recast anymore. She does like a follow up, and it's like a double HP attack battery. And whoever is next in the turn order after Rem does anything, and this is designed to buff whoever she turn swaps to. So she already has that LD buff, and this gives party Brave gains, like 20% party HP damage up, all the good stuff. Brave gains HP damage up being the relevant ones. When she swaps to them, they get an additional 20% HP damage up, and they get 30% M Brave floor, so they're not dropping below that. So people with a lot of HP attacks, so like people like Noel will love this. Enna Crow, like if you got your eyes on Enna Crow in the future, Rem is what makes her usable. Enna Crow without Rem is very sad. Rem gives Sid Reigns a new coat of paint. Machina plus Rem is disgusting, and Rem also has 20% HP cap blue armor, which is ridiculous. She's one of the few. So Rem is Omega Stonks. I think she's one of the most busted characters to release for a bit. That being said, if you're not really feeling like what Rem does, I only used her, being this busted, I only used her twice in JP. Probably because there were new toys, plus I didn't blue her, but I definitely plan to amend that in GL, because Rem is super busted. Seifer, he's got decent upgrades, nothing. He can solo a lot of stuff just because he can delay, and people who jerk themselves off with solos will love running Seifer, but I don't think he's overall worth a chase. I think Rem is worth a chase, definitely, but Seifer, I wouldn't chase him. I think he's more Constellation. I think he's, especially if you don't invest in him, he's just going to be a call. So the fight itself is a complete joke. 9 million HP on 3 mannequins. Just for reference, If you remember how fast Queen's Lost chapter went away, that was 8 million per target. The orb is lethal here. It's the turn swap, but since you can just focus, it's only on the Rem mannequin. And remember, mannequins have no defense and no brave damage reduction, so you're just blowing these guys up. You can just delete the Rem mannequin before anything happens. The Vivian Warrior Light mannequins got threshold attacks, but you can also just kill them, or you can freeze them, or you can put up a shield call, and then the threat is eliminated. So this fight is, again, a complete joke. Yeah, I'm blowing Rem, buying the costume, all that good stuff. And last thing of the month, Fang and Beatrix. Boss rush. This is the last known boss rush. I think it's a dead game type because we are too strong and the bosses are not. Beatrix first, her C90, she's not getting a skill rework, but her EX does like 5 HP attack, so it's a giant nuke. And her special HP got modified so that whenever she uses it, it's an instant turn that heals the party, and it's extended for a turn, so you can like special HP and then skill right afterwards. This is functionally making it just so Beatrix can charge her EX faster, so you don't waste a non-EX charging turn on her HP attack. Why they didn't just make the HP attack charge the EX, I don't know, but it is what it is. And then she gets some more offensive stats for the party. So I think Beatrix's limelight is kind of over now. I think her real peak was like these past couple months, but since she didn't get a skill rework, her damage really isn't the greatest. She's more likely to cap her attacks now because she got the same C90 offensive stats and her EX is a real button. But I'm not sure I'd say Beatrix is worth chasing anymore at this point. As for Fang finally does damage, but she unfortunately does not do a lot of damage. Fang's big claim is that she has a very ridiculously loaded debuff. And the way the debuff works is it's 40% brave damage dealt and 40% HP damage dealt. And it works like sleep and Sync's debuff, where if you hit them with the debuff active, and I guess Selfie's current debuff, if you hit an enemy with this debuff active, the duration will go down. If they try to act on their turn, this also acts as a stun. And this debuff is activated every time Fang inflicts a debuff. And there is a way to get, so Fang's skill 1 debuffs, and it's 2 HP attacks with 50% splash. Not a great damage ceiling. And then her skill 2 is 3 AoE brave attacks, 3 AoE brave plus single target HP attacks. And then her EX, I think it's 3 or 4. Her EX launches now, and the LD is decent damage. But Fang's damage ceiling isn't that high. Fortunately, she has a HP cap leaning attacker armor. No, she has HP cap leaning debuff armor. So yeah, her damage ceiling is not the greatest, and the debuff I think sounds a lot better on paper than it does in practice, because you only need, so Fang has a theoretical 60% HP damage up between her debuff, which is 40%, and her additional ability, which gives party 20% HP damage up. However, same with Ceodore, I think that not even I think, it is objectively true that there's diminishing returns on even HP damage up. You only need so much HP damage up before you hit your cap, and by then you're better off raising the cap. So I think Fang is one of those, especially that's right, that's what I was trying to say. If you, depending on what sphere you give Fang, like with Laguna's RF, she can AoE apply her debuff, because again, she only applies the stun if she uses the debuff, and the only skills she has that debuff are her LD and her skill 1. So if you press skill 2 or EX, you're not necessarily debuffing unless you have a debuff sphere that doesn't clash with your existing debuff. So Embrave, defense, speed. So it needs to be an attack one like Vincent and Cam, or it needs to be a AoE Embrave like Laguna. And so if you, there's some different tactics, but ultimately I don't think pulling Fang for a call is a good idea at all. I think you're much better off getting a more consistent HP damage up call, like your Lilithset, your Kurosami, your Gabranth, your Fran. I don't know who else is there, or your Dark Cecil, but I don't think pulling Fang for a call purposes is very good. I think overall this ban is probably a skip for most people. I'm personally getting Fang and I'm blowing her because I'm a simp. And I'm gonna get a Spear Ultimate weapon, but I really personally don't think Fang is that good. The boss rush, second wave is launch immune. Y'all are gonna give me a hard time because I forgot that in my JP run. That was hilarious. First wave, you need to stun and do damage to a target with a debuff. Second wave, you need to debuff AoE, and then third wave is holy and dispel and cleanse. So, but it's basically Lufenia. Lufenia plus is already power crept in a joke. So this can be one partied. People are gonna Garnet Machina through this shit, bro. The fight's a complete joke. Is that it? Yeah, I don't think I'd recommend anyone get Fang or Beatrix here for any reason, but I'm about to say. Oh, that was it. So overall, my plans: skip everything on Gilgamesh's banner, blue Yuri, skip Leila, skip Ceodore and Cyan. I'm not gonna ticket for that LD call on Cyan. I don't think it's worth it. Unless I'm still like crazy ticket cap, then I consider it. But get Rem, well, blue Rem, blue Yuri, blue Fang. Those are my picks, and then Zach is next month, and that'll be a little bit more exciting. I almost kept under 20 minutes this time, a lot better than my previous videos. Let me know what you guys' plans are for the month. If you have any questions, anything you think I missed out on, I'd be glad to answer. Check out my other stuff, and I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace.